Their fathers, uncles, brothers, husbands, and you, the women in their lives, are being urged to nag them, yes, nag them about getting a prostate exam. Prostate cancer is one of the most treatable forms of the disease, but unfortunately many men don't get checked until it's too late. Well, here to help spread the word about prostate cancer prevention is Virgil Simons, founder and president of the Prostate Net. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, Roy.
Why do you suppose there's such a lack of education about prostate cancer?
There's sociological issues. Men tend to live in caves. We don't want to hear bad news. And they say, well, if I go to the doctor, I'm going to find out something wrong, so they don't go to the doctor. And inevitably, it's the kind of thing that if you don't go, bad things can happen to you.
Sure.
We have the other thing that I'd like to talk about is the puberty factor. Women, when they go into puberty, they're automatically ushered into the company of women. They're told by their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, their girlfriends, health issues. You need to get a pap smear, you need to get a mammography, you need to get checked. Men enter in puberty and there's no one there to tell them these things. So we have our first erection, and that's how we measure our health for the rest of our life. If we can get it up, we must be okay.
Wow, okay, that's an interesting way of looking at the male perspective on this. This, of course, is endemic in every male population, but as we know, African-American males suffer from this at much higher rates than everyone else. Why is that?
There are many things that are an issue here. We see that socioeconomic factors play a part. Financially, in many cases, men don't have the resources. They don't have a family doctor. Also, we find that African-American men, even when they do have the resources, tend to go to doctors less than women do. And then we find out today there are genetic factors that have predisposed African-American men to present with prostate cancer in more aggressive forms than in Caucasians. So when we start putting the whole thing together, there is a mix that's present that we need to encourage African-Americans in particular and other men in high-risk categories to be proactive about their health, get checked, and then be able to make appropriate decisions accordingly.
How much of this is diet related?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. We know that fat, for example, is an accelerant to all cancers, not just prostate cancer. We know that certain factors in terms of diet can be retardants. For example, we talked about lycopenes, in tomatoes, cooked tomatoes, and in certain fruits and vegetables. We know that cruciferous vegetables like dark beans, like broccoli, and other dark green leafy vegetables can be retardants to it. We also know that, again, things like fried food, high-fat foods are accelerants to it.
Yeah. So
again, you have to look at not only what you're eating, but often how you prepare it. Because it can be part of the factor.
That's good stuff to know. What is Prostate Net doing?
We are doing many things. We have a threefold mission. Number one, to educate people about the disease, to understand what the risk factors are in terms of your becoming a candidate for prostate cancer. We're involved in disease intervention, being able to get into the communities and help people focus on those things that can make a difference in their lives. And we're all about research and being able to help involve people in part of the research process so we can find a cure for the disease. We're doing that here in the United States through several initiatives, and we're also doing it in Asia, in Africa, and in Europe now.
Are you finding, because of the dietary connection, that perhaps there might be a worthwhile connection with the Hispanic community, given we are often in the same socioeconomic corridors?
It's interesting enough that Hispanics in America don't have the same incidence rate nor the same mortality rate as African Americans. We do share socioeconomic factors that are important, and we do share dietary factors that are important. We do need, though, to look at both of the communities, particularly to be able to see, are there issues of commonality that we can work together on in terms of addressing the disease in total. But in terms of looking at specific things that correlate between the two, we haven't found those of yet.
Are you surprised that more doctors aren't involved in the educating process? You were talking about your own experience.
It's an interesting thing. We find that with primary care doctors, in many cases, they don't always have the depth of expertise that's necessary to be able to counsel their patients accordingly. So many things are happening in terms of research, in terms of new clinical processes and protocols, and in terms of new drug developments. Often they don't have the information necessary. Unfortunately, we also have the other factor out here that our system is one that's based upon compensation, where doctors get paid for how many patients they see, how many diagnoses they order, how many procedures they do. So that's part of the problem.
Wow. So your next step is Prostate Net going national now? Or is it,
Oh, we're already national. We have on our barbershop initiative more than 4,000 barbers around the country
Wow.
who educate their clients about the disease and encourage them to get screened and tested. In our I'll Go If You Go, we have programs around the country where we will get women to be very much involved in their men's health and be able to say, I'm going to get my breast checked, you need to come get your prostate checked. We do forums around the country on that. Then we have another program called Gentlemen Check Your Engines that we do in conjunction with Harley-Davidson motorcycles, where we will do health fairs in the Harley-Davidson showrooms, again, to break down those barriers, you know, where guys are afraid to come to a hospital, but they're okay with hanging out in the showroom with their pals.
Interesting, interesting. One of the things that I read and this I guess has been duplicated by your organization, is that women are being embraced to come along with these efforts because they're the ones that are the healthcare promoters, so to speak.
Absolutely. We call them the health police of the family. They're the ones who make certain that the whole family is healthy, and we feel that we can make women more aware of the risk that the men in their families face. They'll take the necessary steps to force the guys to do the right thing.
All right, Prostate Net, interesting stuff. Thanks much for coming on board.
Thank you.
And ladies, get involved with your man's health.